I have been a fan of Assassin's Creed ever since it released, with the first game following Altair as you parkour through a city towards someone you needed to shank. That story followed Desmond Miles in the present day as he hops into a machine that connects him with a simulation of his ancestors, reliving their lives and experiences, what they had to go through in their time. Ezio, Edward Kenway, Connor Kenway, these were some of the protagonists I really enjoyed playing. Ubisoft then decided to change up their game formula a little bit and started to delve more into the actual combat instead of assassination-focused gameplay. Bring forth games like Assassin's Creed Origins with Bayek, which I tried to play but I wasn't really into. Odyssey though was amazing. I really enjoyed that game. Cassandra, very enjoyable character to follow. The Greek aesthetic is one that I really jived with. I especially had a crazy fascination with Spartans and their culture, especially after watching Gerard Butler's 300. Eventually, Ubisoft started to see a decline, be it pandering or political. The game started to take a turn for the worst, especially with the reveal of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Finally, the game that so many people were raving for, an Assassin's Creed game based off the historically and culturally rich nation of Japan. People were excited. But eventually, the gameplay trailers came out and we were treated to some interesting decisions and design choices that the developers had decided to go with. Now, I don't care whether or not Yasuke was a samurai or not. I don't care that the other character is a female ninja. I just care about the gameplay. And boy, the gameplay looked horrible. Attack animations not connecting, looking sloppy. A drunk Japanese YouTuber and his partner destroyed a specific trailer which has so many inconsistencies.
That's
true.
The Japanese gamer population ripped Ubisoft a huge one for dishonoring their culture and using landmarks without permission. So this game had a lot of controversy surrounding it after just a couple of trailers. So there goes Assassin's Creed in Japan. Time to move on, I thought. That is, until Ghost of Tsushima released to the PC. Sucker Punch is an American game developer based in Washington. As a part of PlayStation, they made games that you might remember like Sly Cooper and Infamous. And after a grueling 6 years of development, the game was released in July of 2020 on the PlayStation 4. PC release yet to be developed, unfortunately. It was a huge success on release and became one of Sony's fastest selling games. With the directors Jason Connell and Nate Fox even became official tourism ambassadors for the island of Tsushima in 2021. Imagine actually respecting the history and culture of Japan while creating a video game out of it. Someone should have taken notes. The reason why I'm talking about this game now is because I never played it on release. If it doesn't come out on PC, I probably won't be playing it. So I just forgot it even existed. That is until Nick Software released the PC port in May of 2024, which of course I bought it as soon as I heard about it. Story, gameplay, environment, everything was amazing. Assassin's Creed Shadow literally has to compete with a game that released 4 years ago, and I don't know if it can. But enough about Ubisoft, we're actually here to talk about Ghost of Tsushima. So the story revolves around Jin Sakai, who has been tasked with saving and freeing the island of Tsushima from a Mongol invasion. We start at the beachhead with our uncle, who is the Jito of Tsushima, as well as a small army of samurai facing off an immense fleet of Mongols in order to prevent their invasion. Unfortunately, they didn't realize the Mongols fight on a different set of rules, far from the honorable rules that samurai set for themselves. After watching his companion get lit on fire and killed without even a chance to duel, we charge in, and here we get the first taste of combat. Quick, concise, and well developed. Each time you attempt to hit an enemy, you can feel the swing and contact. The moves are perfectly animated, replicating the sword stances and moves that a real samurai would learn. We're given 4 different stances to switch between when facing different enemy types in the game, fighting against swords, shield bearers, spears and axes, and of course the big old brutes. Enemy variety may seem a bit simplistic, but the further you get into the game, you'll find that they do get more complex, with movesets that mix their heavy attacks and normal attacks, as well as the ability to dodge your own attacks. So we're given parry, blocks, dodge capabilities, which are all executed extremely well. The obvious red flashes of light denotes unblockable attacks. Blue flashes of lights used to be unblockable, but you're able to unlock perks that allows you to parry them. And of course, the normal attacks that you can usually parry, no problem. If skilled enough, we have the capabilities to fight off a swarm of enemies with just our sword, as long as we time our dodges and parries perfectly. But back to the story, we do find ourselves taken down by Khotun Khan, who is the main antagonist of the story. Cousin of Kublai Khan and grandson of Genghis Khan. As much as he is strong, he also plays to his wits by taking the time to study the land, people, and language, and overall culture of Japan so he can make use of this knowledge in order to take over and rule them effectively. We end the intro with him striking down Lord Shimura, and we black out. The following scene has us waking up and learning about the sneaking mechanic. If you played any Assassin's Creed game, you'll find it very familiar as you crouch and avoid the watchful stares of the Mongols while you creep around trying to reach your destination. We meet Yuna, who happens to be the one who dragged us off the beach and treated our wounds, as well as sell our sword to some peddler. Yuna is a skilled thief and a native of Tsushima who provides Jin with an alternative way to fight against the Mongols, which we'll go in detail later. Following after her, we learn to find spots in the environment to crawl, hide, and climb into, running on rooftops, jumping through windows. We eventually find our sword, and from there we recruit Yuna to aid us in saving our uncle, which we failed to do. We wake up, we find Yuna, and we go off on our mission to gather our crew to save our uncle. And then we are treated to this particularly beautiful scene. This game is truly a treat for the eyes. The landscapes are a wonder to see. The color palette is mixed so well in all the areas. A breathtaking temple awash in a golden glow. A beautiful vibrant snowfield with red foliage dotting the landscape. With so many interesting vistas to experience, you can't help but pause to really see the amazing work Sucker Punch had put in to bring you Tsushima. After that wonderful opening denoting the end of the introductory parts of the game, we are now released into the open world. We're given some objective markers on the map, and we can make our way to any point that we wish. You'll notice that the wind is guiding us to where we need to go, which is a neat touch, which didn't break my immersion. We can follow the semi-naturally flowing wind with notes of pollen and petals, or we could just press G and watch the wind really pick up for us to follow. Like all open world games, there are many different points of interest for us to find. We got haiku spots, hot springs, fox dens, shrine parkour zones. We also have a bamboo slicing minigame, and of course the various side quests are available to us. All these points of interest provide a different kind of reward, from accessories, like charms, or to health and resolve upgrades. But the most important thing that these points of interest give us is a fast travel point. Other games usually have a town or maybe a specific watchtower that we can teleport to, but in Ghost of Tsushima, literally they just allow us to jump onto any landmark we found, and we don't even need to finish that minigame, we can just teleport there immediately. So if we ever run past one while on a mission, we don't need to double back on foot, we can just teleport there. Very nice touch. This made travel in the open world so much more bearable. Of course, you have to find these points first, obviously. So let's move on to the next mission, where we promised Unit we would help save her brother. This quest is also where we begin to learn how to fight like a ghost. Assassination, poison, stabbing people in the back. These are the actions of one who has no honor, conflicting with how Jin was raised as a samurai. This conflict is one that follows us throughout the game, where we find Jin trying to justify these acts. Jin understood after the battle on the beach that the samurai can't beat the Mongols as they are. Samurai are straightforward, honest, and know no fear when it comes to head-to-head warfare. But that rigidity is the cause of their downfall. Kutin Khan is a man who has studied the samurai, and he understands their way of battle, and he takes advantage of this. He schemes, employs tactics that no samurai would ever think to try. This is why they lost. This is why Jin needed a new way to fight against the Mongol. So, biting back his hesitation, Jin plunges his sword into the neck of his enemy, shuddering, thinking about the person he is about to become. A ghost fights in the shadows. They do whatever they can to win their battles with whatever means they have. Kunai, poison, bombs, even wind chimes. On top of the chain assassination we're able to unlock, we're provided with a whole Batman arsenal to use while sneaking and in combat. Smoke bombs to confuse the enemy and open them up to assassination. Kunai to stagger multiple enemies, leaving them open for a strike. You get a blowpipe to poison your targets, either with a lethal shot or one that makes them go buck wild on their friends. These are the dishonorable tools of trade for a ghost. The real ghostly part, though, is what you might expect if you've played Assassin's Creed or Far Cry. Plenty of reeds to hide in, many places for a person to crawl, sneak, and hide. We also get a grappling hook that gives us a ton of verticality. Although I am disappointed that I can't take out a target by grapple hooking into the sky onto them. Now, swordplay and ghost techniques aren't the only fighting options we have. We also have access to a bow, darts, and the bombs I mentioned before. I wasn't too jazzed about the bow play because I felt weird aiming it, but that was until I unlocked the slowdown effect for the bow, and it made it 10 times better. So where do we go from here? We continue the mission, we explore the island, we fight the multitude of enemies available, and we hopefully free Tsushima from the grips of the Mongols. I do have maybe a bit more to say about this game. I could talk about the rest of the cast, about his teacher, his oldest friend, a grieving lady of the house, and even a sake maker. I could talk about the conflict between Jin's way of honor that would eventually kill him, causing Tsushima to fall completely, and the past of the ghost, which would find him in complete dishonor in the eyes of his uncle and the shogun, but would allow him to save the people of Tsushima. But I think this game is a game that you need to experience for yourself, and I think I'll leave it at that. I highly recommend playing this game. It reflects the traditions and honors of Japan very well, and it's just a very, very well made video game. But that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.